How the hell have you guys been? So I've been on YouTube now for 15 years, on and off, and now I gotta say thank you for 100 subscribers. I really didn't think I'd make it that far. Again, if I did already. So, for this milestone, I'm gonna give a brief history about the channel. So, in case you weren't paying attention, I started my channel in 31st of August 2009. Yeah, I was 11 then, and I don't think I've ever turned back since. Initially, my channel started because of making Let's Plays similar to the people I was watching at the time, so a Nintendo Capri Sun, Sugar Conroy, Grievous Rocks, I think it was. Yeah, Grievous Rocks. I got quickly inspired then, and obviously I didn't know how to do it professionally, so I just took my old camcorder, recorded the TV through that, uploaded it to whatever software it was, I can't remember what the hell it was called, and put it through a Windows Movie Maker and call it a day. That's what I did for like 5 years when I first started out. Very primitive, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people still do that. And I got no qualms with that. But then come 2014 or so. So yeah, when I started college, I started vlogs, and this is the first one here. And I promised to do somewhat weekly vlogs, or just like gaming content in general, which I was doing also at the time. But everything just kind of went to shit then. So like during my college days, a lot of people seemed to have their shit together. You know, they had their careers kind of preset, what they wanted to do for family, get their own place to live, and I wasn't even close to that. That really fucking sucked. And it was also a mix of, as of then, undiagnosed anxiety and depression. So I was just in a constant downward spiral, and good God, like that was not fun. Like I almost off myself, honestly. Come 2017, my mom was diagnosed with cancer. This was in the January. She was showing signs even before then, months before. And come the June, she inevitably passed away, even though she's given 5 or 6 years to live. So even after then, that was kind of the tipping point, so I could get my shit together. Yeah, so that was when I decided to actually look into bettering myself, and thank God I did, because as I mentioned before, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and that made the world so much more clear to me. After that diagnosis, that made me such an advocate for mental health. Even though I thought it was like totally ruined the world, that couldn't have been further from the fucking truth. I did have a quote unquote therapy session over the phone, and that did make me feel a lot fucking better. But the problem was, like, that was just so temporary. So come to when I was actually starting work, like, I had no idea how to manage my thoughts. That was such a horrible fucking time to try and get sorted then. So come June of 2018, I think it was, I got my first job as a pot washer for a Mexican restaurant, which are kind of rare for England. But that was only literally for 4 days. Not for lack of trying, but it was very, very fucking impractical because I don't drive even now. So I had to take a bus there, and considering it was late hours, I had to take a taxi back. So even if I was earning money then, I would have been using up more money than I'd be saving it. Then following that, it was in the same area. I worked at the little dessert shop. Thankfully, it was for more than 4 days, but it was one of the worst experiences of my fucking life, work-wise. I was just having constant anxiety attacks. Like, I was getting so overwhelmed with what I was doing, even though that is part of the business. Like, you are in a restaurant, it is going to be stressful, but it wasn't the good kind of stress that kept you going. It was a stress of like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna get sacked immediately. That was also another tipping point in my life. So I quit like 4 weeks in, and I actually worked on my 20th birthday then, which is a big milestone. Even today, I'm 25 now, and I look back on that and I'm just like, why the hell did I stay as long as I did? So after then, I got properly into therapy. I started from, I believe it was the December or the November of 2018, and I desperately fucking needed it. I was in therapy for a good 6 months until I could fix my brain. And at the same time, my dad was pressuring me to get a job. I totally get where he was coming from. And like, it's not because I didn't want to get a job. It's because I didn't feel mentally prepared to do it. I felt like if I went into a job straight after then, I just cracked. That following year, I went into a program to help me get back into work. I believe I got started in the May of then, and then I finally got a job in the July. I worked at the George Hotel in Litchfield. I worked there for 4 months, I believe it was. It was from the July for my trial. I think I officially got hired as of the September, and then 2020 happened. So yeah, I got furloughed in the February, and during that month, on one of the days, I just felt so crap and really overstressed that I actually had to go home because I really didn't think I could make it through. So I was furloughed from the February up until my official release as of June, I believe it was. So that was a fucking nightmare. And during that time, my dad was planning on moving to Glastonbury, but at the time, I honestly didn't believe him because he made so many promises over the years that he'd do something, and he'd end up doing it, or he was putting his mind to it for a few weeks, and then just ixnay it completely. But this was one of the only times that he followed up on his word, which is funny because I wasn't even scared at the time of like what was going to happen. So the funny thing was like after that, because he moved out in the December, um, it actually felt super fucking liberating. I'm not gonna lie, because a lot of people would be afraid of living on their own, and especially someone so young, because I was going 22 that year. Yeah, and that was actually like a proper stress relief. But I did kind of take it for granted for a while. So I kind of got into a down spiral of not wanting to work, especially during the pandemic, because you'd hear in the news like left, right, and center businesses were closing because I didn't want to get into a downward spiral of starting a job, stay there for 2 weeks, and then have the business completely close. The whole experience was so stressful for everyone, not even just for me. So then come the middle of 2021, and I just got sick of being at my house. I just got sick of doing nothing with my life. So I went to another back to work thing. I got to be a warehouse specialist, and I'm still technically qualified for that now. But it's the same with college. I got a level 3 diploma for carpentry and joinery, but since then I've not really put that towards a career. I think the thing was I just didn't want to be a quitter because the first year was fun, but after then it just kind of I got the realization of this isn't for me. But I didn't want to quit. I didn't want to be the guy that quit at the first hurdle. So I just kind of trucked on. And another thing was I didn't want to get a job. I really didn't feel prepared for it. So, but come 2021 again, I actually found a job I liked. But thing is, like, I've always just wanted to do stuff like this. Like, I wanted to do music. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to get into art. But you can't do that right away, especially if you don't have a big following right off the bat. One of the other realizations I had was getting diagnosed with ADHD only this last August as of posting the video. And again, like that made so much fucking sense to me. I'm so glad I got diagnosed. And now that I've had treatment for it, I am falling back in love with doing this. and especially with doing my PS4 dump, which you'll see in a playlist below. Um, Uploading that many videos at a time, like that felt so good. I felt like I caught up on so much lost time, and now like I'm really considering getting back into long form content. I've got a few ideas here. I'm not gonna do a particular schedule or do a particular order of which way I want to do them, but that's what I want to do. And to get back on topic, like thank you so much for putting up with me. If you stayed at least for part of those 15 years, I applaud you. Thank you so much. And for the new people, welcome. I hope you're here for the ride, and I'm all for it too. Um, so yeah, so this has been Brothers Dudeman. I'll see you later. How you guys been doing? As an intro. Um, so I've been on YouTube now for 15 years. Fuck off. Thinking that. Excuse me. Brain fart. There we go. The waveform, that's excellent.